SimSol is a very database-intensive program. There's a lot of things going on in the background as you're working, so occasionally you might run into an error message or a random database exception. This is typically caused in those rare occasions where you're working in SimSol and maybe your laptop battery dies or your power gets abruptly shut off and SimSol was open and you were actively doing something when that shutdown occurred. So the next time you fire up SimSol, maybe you go into that claim and you're presented with some strange error message. And these are usually nothing to be alarmed about, but they would often require that you contact our support department to get help or go to our online support site to find the resolution to this particular error message that you're seeing. So in this exercise, I'm going to show you a couple tools that you can use that will most likely resolve these messages when you're working on your own or late at night, maybe when support's not available. I'll also show you how you can use some of these tools to just do some general maintenance on your own to make sure SimSol is running at its optimum speed and performance. So I've got a claim file here that I've kind of rigged to provide an error message for me. So if I go into a claim and open it up, when I go to the estimate information screen, I'm presented with this message, general database exception, and it lists the database table that it's talking about, and it might tell me something like the file is invalid or does not exist. While you don't have to memorize it, this information is important if you do end up contacting support because they'll want to know exactly what is being referenced in this message so they know how to fix it quickly and efficiently. But for your own purposes, the general database exception is all you really need to know here. That's the type of error that we're talking about, and that's the type of error I'm going to show you how to fix here. Many times when you get this type of message, you'll click OK, and upon doing so, sometimes you'll have to exit the program completely, and it may not let you continue. It really depends on the severity of the file that's missing or the file that's become corrupted. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and get out of SimSol altogether. And what I want to do now is go to the Windows Start menu and find our SimSol Products entry under All Programs. Now I'm on Windows 7, so I'm going to go down here to Start, go to All Programs, locate SimSol Products, click on SimSol Products. There's a submenu here called Desktop. I'm going to scroll down there and find this folder here called DB Utils or Database Utilities. I'll click there. And we've got a list of separate utilities here that all have their own specific task when it comes to maintaining the software, making sure it's running optimally and the database is intact. Before you use any of these tools, the first one you'll always use is this one here called the Delete Lock and Net Utility. So I'm going to click that. That'll display the dialog, Find and Delete SimSol Lock and Net Files. The only thing I need to make sure of here is that the drive is set to the drive that contains the SimSol folder. 99% of the time it's going to be set to the C drive unless you or your network admin has decided to move it to another drive, but SimSol always by default installs to your C drive. So all I'm going to do here is go down to the bottom and hit the Start button. When I hit Start, this utility initiates a search looking for any lock or net files that could prohibit us from fixing the problem. So we want to make sure this utility is given a chance to run. And you'll see what the results look like in just a second here if it does find some of those files. So we'll let this run for a second and see what it comes up with. Okay, so the search has concluded here, and I know it's done because down here at the bottom where it says Processing Directory, as you could see when it was searching, this was showing all the different paths it was currently looking in. You'll see that it's come to an idle here, and I've got the option to quit, so that means it is done searching. As we look up at the screen here, it did find one result, so that's good. Any results are good because any files that we find here, we're going to go ahead and remove them. And this will make sure that we get the best results from the next tool we're going to use, which does go through, validate, and clean up the database and make sure that any of those error messages that we were getting are resolved. So when I'm done with this screen, I just simply come down to the bottom right and hit Quit. That removes that utility from the screen. I'm going to go back to the same place, Programs, SimSol Products, Desktop, Database Utilities, and this time I want what's called the DB Cleanup. I'll click that. I'll get this verification window that asks what installation path am I looking to repair. This would be the correct installation path. This is our default installation path for the data folder for SimSol, C SimSol Desktop Data. I'll go ahead and click OK here. And as soon as this screen is displayed, I'm presented with some different options here. Don't concern yourself with all these different options. What's most important on this screen is located down here in the bottom right. You'll see there's 4 numbers listed. There's an SFD count, a drawer count, SFW count, and claim count. Now what's important to know here is the top 2 numbers, the SFD count and drawer count, those numbers should always match. And the same goes for these bottom 2 numbers, SFW count and claim count. If there's a discrepancy in these numbers, we'll know that we need to run this utility to clean up SimSol and get it back in its proper working condition. So to do so, all I need to do is come over here to the left of these numbers and check 3 particular checkboxes. I want to check this one here, fix PRB, PRD folders, validate drawers and claims, arc and restore claims DB, and once I have those 3 checked, I'll go ahead and hit go. That will display this update validation screen, and that's going through and trying to clean up our claims database. So now that that process is complete, if we go back over and look at my claim counts and my drawer count, you'll see that they now match. That's exactly what we want at all times. So when it comes to general maintenance, if you ever want to come to this screen, that is something you can do on your own to make sure the SimSol database is running at its peak performance. Now in this exercise, there was one particular claim that was giving us an error message. The routine that we just ran to clean up these claim counts might not have necessarily fixed that message. So what we need to do is use this tool to pinpoint that particular claim and try to fix that problem in that claim. So before I continue, I'm going to go ahead and uncheck these boxes because I'm done with those. And as I come up to the top of the screen, I want this tab here at the top, Pick a Claim. This is what lets me isolate a particular claim file and fix the error message in that file. So as I get to this screen, there's 2 different sections we need to be concerned with here. There's the left side and the right side. What the left side is doing, it's displaying all of the claim drawers I have set up in the program. At this point, I only have 1. Here's the drawer name, and this is the drawer ID number, 1821.sfd. You'll never really see that ID number anywhere else but here. You may see it in an actual error message, but other than that, this would be the only place you would see that. Then on the right side are all the claims in that particular drawer. Now to isolate the claim that I want to fix, I will need to know what the claim number is, and you'll see that expressed here in this first column. These other 2 columns give the unique identifier of the drawer and then the unique identifier for the actual claim. So all you'll need to do is find the claim in this list that was giving you the error message based on the claim number. Simply highlight it and then come down to the bottom and check these 4 boxes: Test and Fix, Pack DBs, Remove Extra Claim Files, and Update Claim. Once those are checked, come down to the bottom and click Go. Once again, you'll see the validation screen pop up letting you know it's working on that claim file, and at that point it should have resolved that particular error message. So once we're done here, I can leave these boxes checked and just simply come up to the top right and close this window. I'll then want to go back into SimSol to open it up. And because there was an error message the last time we were working in SimSol, you may see a dialog similar to this one, letting you know that the last time you used SimSol there was a problem with the database. Would you like to check it now to make sure it's running at its optimum performance? And you'll want to go ahead and say yes to this dialog. Once that process is done, the program will open up, and you should be able to go into that claim and open it up and not have any problems getting in. Now, depending on the cause of the problem, it may not be fixed and it might require you to contact SimSol support. If that's the case, just make sure you document the problem well so you can relay to our tech support team exactly what happened, what the error message is, and what you may have attempted to do to fix that problem in the meantime.